day. We did a crossing that, like, if Doom wasn't there, I would never have done it in a million years. Years ago, I witnessed Iceland's massive glacial rivers from above for the first time. I guess you could say that in that moment, the seed was sown, and I was obsessed. There's something so captivating about looking down on these river systems that I spent the next decade capturing and documenting their beauty from the sky. It wasn't until about 2 years ago that I was driving back from Iceland's East Fjords that the idea finally hit. Would it be possible to cross this remote stretch of coast on my bike, unsupported, in order to get up close and personal with these rivers? What would it be like to experience them on the ground level? I spent the next year poring over maps, talking to locals, and most importantly, learning how to raft, the key ingredient to this crazy expedition. The obstacles to do this were massive, but like most things with me, once the idea is planted in my head, it's pretty hard to get rid of it.
What do you think?
I mean, I'm excited. I'm not less scared, but I'm definitely trying to release a little bit of this stress. I mean, we're standing at the very eastern terminus of the route. I think I'm gonna have trouble sleeping tonight because I'm gonna be thinking about it so much. I just want to go right now. This part of the world is fabled. It's home to some of the most remote stretches of black sand beach in the world, and the environment is extremely dangerous. Atlantic storms have claimed countless ships and sailors' lives along the southern coast of Iceland. After hearing so much about the shipwrecks and deaths here, it was easily the most daunting part of the trip. On top of that, our route was intersected by nearly 40 rivers. We would need to cross them, and those crossings would be our biggest crux. While I had done many bike expeditions in harsh conditions, doing something like this seemed nearly impossible and terrifying. So I reached out to the one person who had the experience to tackle something just like this, Steve Fassbender, AKA Doom. In some way, riding with Doom was something I've always dreamt of, a rite of passage, basically. You know, that experience of being with somebody who knows and has seen so much. He's an absolute legend. Highly experienced in both bikepacking and rafting disciplines. And the way he reads water, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. He's been on countless trips to Alaska, Pakistan, Tajikistan, South America, you name it, endless. This guy's packed his bike in every way possible, even on the back of a llama. Cam, how we feeling, buddy?
Good. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Also joining us would be Cameron Lawson, a legend in his own right, an adventure photographer and Alaskan bush pilot who had some bike rafting under his belt too. He bike rafted the lost coast of Alaska and also floated 200 miles of the Yukon River, and it made sense that he would round out the crew.
We're about to leave, which is like a long time coming. Ready for the first thing to go wrong, I guess. Just waiting for it. Start of a very big day. As the plan came together, I knew I wanted to capture this story. But it would be a huge challenge. So I put out a few calls to people I knew in the area and enlisted my friend Siggy. Siggy grew up on the southern coast and knew the area like the back of his hand, which would be critical for the mission. Also joining the production crew were photographers Ryan Hill and Jeremy Bishop, as well as filmmaker Brian Davis. We established a series of meeting places along the route. At a few instances where our route would meet up with roads or towns. This would be Vesterhorn, a super scenic mountain peak on the ocean in the east. Jökulsárlón, the glacial lagoon where large chunks of ice break from Iceland's biggest glacier and flow into the ocean. Vík, a quaint town along a long stretch of black sand beach, and ultimately culminating in the crown jewel, the Thorsá River. Many of the rivers we'd be crossing were gems in their own right, cutting and winding their way through stunning landscapes and showing off strands and fans of glacial sediment. But of all the rivers, the Thorsá River stands out without question. It's Iceland's biggest river, and it also happens to be glacial water. The colors in this river are the most vibrant and stunning of all. This is the river that first captured my attention, the true reason why this project came to life in the first place. And it just so happened to be at the very end of our very long route. But with so many dangerous river crossings between here and there, I wasn't actually sure we'd make it to the Thorsá at all. So what is bike rafting? Essentially, it's the process of packing an inflatable raft on your bike to allow you to cross bodies of water. First, you break down your bike. Then you inflate your raft, put your half-assembled bike onto the raft, basically on the nose, balancing out the weight of the raft. Then you ride the river, send it over waterfalls, or whatever you need to do.
We're about to attempt our first crossing.
In our case, we use the pack raft as a tool to explore and move through these massive river systems and other bodies of water. Some being 30 feet across, some being thousands of feet across. Some are rocky, some are fast, some have different types of bottoms, some have steep, scary banks. Easily the scariest thing has to do with wind on the water, because you have no keel or fin or any kind of control. You're getting pushed around everywhere, sideways, even backwards at times, and you don't know what you're going to encounter on the other side. I'd say the most dangerous thing, the biggest challenge really, are trying to avoid the river mouths. River mouths are kind of like the death zone. It's where there's surf, there's waves, and everything speeds up and surges into this chaotic system. It's creating sleeper waves, undertow, and all kinds of hidden dangers. We tried to avoid that at all costs. So bike rafting is pretty simple in theory, but when you start to do it, it becomes complicated fast. When you're thinking about crossing 41 rivers, you're basically inflating and deflating that raft and breaking down your bike 82 times. It eats up so much time, and you're just subjecting your bike and all the pieces of it to salt water and black volcanic sand. It's brutal. It felt so good to be finally off and riding. But right off the bat, we encountered our first problems.
I'm going way in.
He just needs a pretty major adjustment, which isn't too bad to fix, but like, you gotta do it right. It takes a little while.
Yeah, so we got Doom here, master mechanic. This is crazy. I can't believe we're here.
I'm going way in, out into the open.
That's like the perfect spot over there.
Am I dreaming? Maybe just a little bit.
Today was mega. We did like the first big chunk of our route, bunch of open water crossings, a couple rivers, and the weather has been incredible, so. Full hot air.
This is incredible.
I really didn't know after the first day when we'd see the production team again. They had our GPS location and were trying to track us from a distance and find areas where they could meet up with us. But the problem is waves and tides on these beaches cause the sands to shift constantly. Sometimes new islands are formed in a matter of days. Other areas of the coast are separated from roads by impassable volcanic terrain. The most promising areas for coastal access are often private farmland that's guarded by farmers who are protective and wary of tourists.
We just arrived to Hotel Smyrlaberg. They told us we could grab a cup of coffee here, and we're also going to ask them about roads that lead down to the shore here.
Yeah. Well, this road will definitely get us part of the way down.
I'm gonna just see how far this goes and flip around down here.
It's pretty nice weather. We're out here checking the road, trying to get to the beach. There's a shelter up ahead that the guys have taken refuge from the elements, and we're trying to get there to meet them, but we're not sure if we can. The road's all kind of underwater and the sand could be soft.
Day 3, pretty crappy weather, cold and drizzly, about to be rainy and windy. But we've only got 22 miles to do, a couple crossings.
Not ringing. Afterlife. Flash. Yeah. Next number.
I've been in a total goose chase. I've been calling like a million farmers, but hopefully we're able to get a driver for tomorrow that has a truck capable of taking us down to the shore, because it's not a good road down there.
The film crew was on their own, and our focus was on the ride. Our heads had to be in the moment, because the upcoming section was going to be the first proper test of our approach.
What makes Iceland's glacier rivers so captivating is the unique process that creates them. Pieces of rock come loose and the glacier pulls them along with it. Water flowing along the bottom of the glacier seeps down in the rock below. As the glacier flows down a mountain, it gets warmer and starts to melt. And as a glacier melts, the rocks fall to the ground, and the material becomes a tasty mixture of rocks, stones, sand, and clay, known as glacial till. The melted ice turns into meltwater and flows downhill into a larger body of water, ultimately the ocean. And as this glacial till fans across the riverbeds, something magical happens. The colors, contrast, and textures seem to open a window into another world.
We had just made our most challenging crossing, and so far everything was looking good. The weather had cooperated, and our equipment was tight. And now we were crossing a threshold into a very remote section of the route. This region was home to some of the biggest dangers of the journey. It was a place where some of the most raw elements of nature collide. And waves and wind create and destroy islands of sand. They actively change the shape of the coast from day to day. Here, the largest glaciers break off into the Atlantic Ocean. Visually, this place is full of beauty. But I knew we couldn't be naive to how fast the conditions can change for the worse.
Just pinching myself because I know how rare it is to get this kind of weather.
My friend Mumi, who is a local Icelander, joined us for a small section. He said he'd been tracking our GPS. As an experienced guide and cyclist, I knew he was keen for an adventure. It always blows my mind how tough Icelanders are, and that he was eager to jump on a ride like this at a moment's notice.
I don't think I've ever seen a whale this intact, washed up. This must have like just happened. This is wild.
Being able to bond and grow closer with people through adventure is easily my favorite thing in the world.
So stoked to see this thing.
There are a number of emergency shelters along the route that we hunkered down in. As I was planning the route, I had learned their fabled history. The remote emergency shelters are used as a sort of hut system that is designed to save you in case the shit hits the fan. The emergency shelters and the hut system really was designed specifically along the south coast, not for travelers or tourists, but for sailors, who over years and years of traveling here had lost their lives trying to get to the coastline, specifically the south coast, where putting your boat through some of these waves was absolutely the most dangerous thing you could ever do. Knowing the purpose of these huts, you understand clearly that you're submitting yourself to an area that human beings are just not meant to exist.
Hi. Þetta Siggi hérna.
Siggy had found a local who was as crazy as the route itself. He was eager to help them gain access to us.
And he's gonna drive us down here to the coast, and he knows the landscapes better than the back of his hand, so it's probably good to get as close as we can to them, just so we don't have to use the drones as much.
And it's about here, the shipwreck. They are just on the bikes now, so we better get moving if we want to catch them up there.
Yeah.
Problem. Okay, across the river, but as soon as I'm up there, it's really like a quicksand to get out of the river. And with these wheels, I might get stuck there. Okay, love it. Let's give it a try.
All right.
Fantastic.
Nothing to it, but not really a place where you want to get stuck.
Easy for you.
Against all odds, Siggy and the crew were making it happen. I honestly couldn't believe it.
that was deep, huh?
But their time with us was short-lived, just a few hours. We were on our own for the next section, a series of 7 big river crossings, and we didn't know it was going to be one of the scariest parts of the trip for us. This was the point that Mumi decided to part ways. When you're out here in such an exposed place, where the elements are so raw, things can get serious really quick.
Really hope this lighthouse is open because we really need shelter. And kind of running low on energy. After hours of riding and being beaten down by the elements, we finally made it to the lighthouse. But the shelter was gone. We soon realized it had been buried in 8 feet of sand. We were standing right on top of it. I knew there was another shelter, but it would require 3 more huge river crossings.
Pretty fucked up. Yeah. We did a crossing that, like, if Doom wasn't there, I would never have done it in a million years. Oh my god.
We were all processing what we'd just gone through in our own ways.
It's not fun.
It was fucked. Yeah. None of the crossings have been dangerous in any way at all, but that one had danger that I didn't like.
Cam was pretty beat down.
It's a long day. I'm feeling totally beat. He is a little jacked.
We were destroyed that day. And that last crossing, it was a little too close for comfort. The wind and the water was just total chaos, and it could have been really bad. On top of all that, Cam's knee was pretty messed up. He was laboring over his decision whether to stay or drop out, because this was one of the only places that he could exit the trip safely. It was a bummer to see such a strong person and a friend leave the expedition, but we all knew it was the right decision. The hope of us all finishing together was lost. We did still have the Thorsau River in our sights, though. Doom and I pushed on.
Just right now, a lot of black sand and some waves. There's a little shipwreck.
We're scouting with the first drone. We almost put up like 1 scout drone, but they should be on their way.
We're so beat. We're just losing it. Oh. Whoa. That is so cool.
Ég var að skoða þetta á map.is. Reynir drove us out here. It's a friend who has a super jeep, and he's gonna help us to access these more, I guess, remote places the last few days of the trip.
good friend and pilot Arnar surprised me on the last day with a flyover in his Piper Cub. It was an inspiring gesture because it was with him just a few weeks earlier that I had scouted many of these rivers from his plane.
Oh yeah. So awesome.
It's moments like this that make you realize why these kinds of expeditions are meaningful. Here we were with nearly 300 miles of the hardest sand riding in my life and close to 40 river crossings behind us with our final approach to the Thorsau River, and a friend comes to wave you on.
It's just kind of cool to like remind yourself at the end, like why it's significant, why it's important, why it's so beautiful, and I'm trying to like take it in. I think the coolest thing is that a lot of these rivers, to me, were once like so scary, and they still really are, maybe more now. But I understand them better, and to navigate them is to know them, to like love them, I guess, and that's really cool. And you know, I've flown over every single one of these for like the last 10 years and photographed them, and now to be in them is like really significant. Really.
Come on, you easy rider. You miss because
Like abstract paintings, Iceland's glacial rivers meet something profound in the human soul. And experiencing them firsthand has changed my perspective of the world around me. It's hard to describe or even sum it up in words, so I won't even try. My love for these rivers has only continued to grow deeper with time. And my hope is to share that beauty with others, so that hopefully they will want to advocate for these wild places just as much as I do.
you easy rider. You daughter of McGree, well, tell me what you see. Tell me what you see. Oh, it's no use, there's no excuse. Your lover can lay, say you try to come and see me again. Come on, you easy rider. You children of the sand, your homes and northern lines, your homes and northern lines. Just go and find it. You easy rider. All you got to do is start.
Here we are, final couple feet of sand on our route. The end. Well, I need to shave and shower. Yeah.
Come and see me again. Come and see me again. You come and see me again. You come and see me again. You come and see me again.
It was the company that made it sick, you know? Like, you would never want to do that alone. It's just so lame. That's why you do these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Camp's done. Work is done. It's over.